You are tuned in to a Fireside chat with Zany Mystic. Join us now on another exciting metaphysical journey. Relax, tune in, drop out, and take a seat by the fire as we explore new realms and possibilities. This is Magenta Pixie. You can find me at magentapixie.weebly.com. But now, here is Zany Mystic and guest. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to a Fireside Chat with Zany Mystic. I'm your host, Lance White. Today, my guest is Pamela Wilson. Pamela is a teacher of Advaita Vedanta, which rises from the Hindu school of philosophy that teaches non-duality, or the true nature of self in relation to all. Pamela gives satsangs, a gathering of people to honor truth, to rest from the conflict and confusion of the world, and to take refuge in the heart. She travels around the world sharing this wisdom with others and is supported by her church, Fellowship of the Heart. To find out more about Pamela or watch her videos, click into the links and learn more, go to www.pamelasatsang.com. And we'll repeat that during the show. So, let's have our gathering here right now with Pamela as we welcome her. Hi, Pamela. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Wonderful. Now, when did your spiritual journey begin?
Probably back in 1976, I took transcendental meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And loved the resting in the stillness, and that was how it all began. But of course, before that, we're all great lovers of nature and stillness.
Mm-hmm. Right, and I know that for me, when I was in my teenage years in Santa Barbara, I used to just thrive on it. I would drive up into the mountains and sit by a creek, climb up there and just meditate and listen to the water. And something happens, or happened to me, and I think it happens to many of us, that pulled me into the chaos of cities and life. And for many years, I kind of got lost. I mean, quite a few years, maybe 30 or 35 years. I still, did Vipassana and various other teachings, but it's very difficult to return to nature, it seems, when you're living in a city. So now I'm living in nature, and nature is teaching me, and I'm relearning how to go into it and be in that stillness again. So it is kind of a cycle. How do you see that?
Well, I resonate with exactly what you say, and I'm sure listeners will as well. It's just the nature of busyness that it distracts us from what's real or what's underlying and at the heart of everything.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Now, I know that there's a lot of chitter-chatter on the Internet today about so many things. Obviously, in this density that we're in here on wherever we are, excuse me, that there's a lot of turmoil that appears to be going on outside of us, and there's a lot of talk and worry and concern and fear about things like Comet Elenin and various conspiracies and so on and so forth. Dates coming to an end, people moving around on the planet. What is really going on?
Well, what I notice from just being aware within is that anything that wants to uncontain itself or come out of an old-fashioned structure will sometimes flare up before it comes to rest. And that definitely feels like what's happening with a lot of the man-made structures in the world right now. They're all flaring up before they come back into more of a balanced, authentic service, as far as I can tell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it feels like to me, too. How do we break through the illusion that we're individual personalities or beings or egos or whatever you want to call it, spirits, souls, and see the interconnectedness of everything, and remember that there is no out there, that it's just a show, a kind of smoke and mirrors that we fall into when we focus on it and identify with it.
Well, I like inviting friends to just bring their awareness within or notice what's asking for attention within, and to function as this soothing, still presence that everybody already is. Because once we soothe the mind and the body, then we can see what's really true. But it's the mind and body, they're like musical instruments, and that the strings are too tight, so then the music doesn't play, harmoniously or beautifully.
So, as I understand it, the underlying reality is harmony, and we're just out of tune.
Nicely said. The orchestra is a little chaotic.
Yes, and as I understand it, there have been a few strings that have been missing or removed through our own ignorance, I guess you could say, or through our own creation, and that appears to be a duality or division where there's an us versus them going on. And so when we step out of the fear of this illusion that there is anybody out there doing anything, then we can return to the awareness of the truth, which is that we are all one already, and we are already we're not in this realm. This is just a place that we come and go from. Am I saying that? Am I saying that in a way that?
Well, it resonates for you, right?
Right.
That's much more important.
How would you put it?
Well, pretty much the same thing. We're all just separated by a common language. But basically, there's only one stressor, really, and it's tension or pressure or misunderstanding. And as soon as everything gets stressed or tense, then the clear seeing, the natural clarity is apparently diminished. And then the misunderstandings take the stage. And you'll notice that in life, right? Regularly, unfortunately.
Yes.
Yeah. So once again, I'd like to invite people to actually start with themselves, because we all have a genuine longing to be of service and to help everything return back to balance. And yet, if our system isn't in balance, then actually whatever function we play will be also imbalanced. So if we could just soothe a little bit inside and have compassion for our musical instrument, the body-mind, and the amazing sensitivity that is who we are, it just helps everything come back into rest. And from there, we can respond from moment to moment.
Oh, I love that. That is so beautiful. It's just wonderful. It's so perfect and so true. When you were talking, it was bringing up images of how we've gradually fallen into a kind of trance that sustains stress and fear. Perhaps just a lot of that seems to have to do with just falling prey to the conditions that are around us, and then we turning to pharmaceuticals and various other forms of escape to bring us back into the balance. And of course, that just further imbalances our own harmony.
Yes, nicely said and noticed.
Thank you. And so then we start to become more fearful the more we see what we're creating out there, and then that further extends into a manifestation where what we're expressing shows up out in the field that's coming and going, and then it appears that there are bad things going on.
Well, there's definitely, suffering and challenges and lack in the world, and for that we have a lot of compassion and really honoring of the resilience of people that are dealing with that. But I like to work at the root misunderstandings. I used to always be up in the tree of life trying to prune the branches, but then I would notice that the branches or the held beliefs would just reassert themselves. So then I went deep into the roots of the tree of life and just noticing and inviting folks to really look at what resonates for them, because if there's fear, it's basically not the whole truth or the truth. And of course, the radio and the media get our attention through fearful reportage and everything, and yet it's the same function that the mind uses to control us all, which is to project fear, get the nervous system agitated, because then we're controlled. We go back into the habitual behavior, and we've all noticed that doesn't work or serve. Is there a difference between the individual mind and the mind, and if so, how do you see mind operating? Well, the mind is pure intelligence, and it's been trained well and trained badly, I would say. And what it really needs from us is for us to function as the sage within, to function as clarity and kindness inside. And when we do that, then the mind can rest. And then it's very important. I always recommend to friends that they show the mind its true nature, because otherwise it goes back into stressed, habitual functioning.
Yes.